Okay, hello everyone. I'm Colm, and I have been working with WordPress for a small bit. So if you look at like some of the websites I've made, the one which I kind of generally go with is the website for Motley Magazine here in UCC. It's a very kind of straightforward WordPress website in the sense that we have a very nice theme on it. It looks very professional, and it arguably is something which like I just showed to people. It's like, yeah, look at how great this is. The secret is that I actually did practically none of this, and that the entire website was just built from an existing WordPress theme. I made maybe 2 or 3 changes to the details of it, and the rest of it just came from. It's running a bit slow. We should move it to Netsoc. But like it's the idea that like you can make a very professional looking, very clean looking website with very minimal effort using WordPress, and also with no past experience in having written code or in actually developing for the web. It's designed to be user friendly and designed to be for everyone, and there's a very nice community that exists around it. So here at Netsoc, we've built a system called Netsoc Admin, which runs on one of our servers and allows people to set up their own websites, their own databases, and so on, completely free of charge to any UCC students. And like, because we have an awful lot of space remaining and so on, we've only set up for the first year this year, it's likely that you could keep it maybe even for a little while after you graduate. Don't tell the Societies Guild that one though. Oh hey, we're collaborating with them tonight. So why would you want your own website? You might want your very own personal portfolio on the internet. You might want to get into journalism or blogging or just kind of charting your experiences in life. You might want to keep your friends and family updated about where you are. You might want a starting point for your own business. You might want to spread the word about a cause that you care about, or just kind of have a general creative outlet on the internet for yourself. Like a lot of people turn to social media websites such as Facebook, such as Twitter, such as Tumblr to express themselves, but having your own website and having your own space to build from in WordPress is probably the best way to kind of create something for yourself on the internet. You're obviously here for a reason. If you're here tonight, you probably want to build a website for some purpose. So maybe the slide isn't completely relevant, but it's a good place to start for those of us who are joining us on YouTube. So what do you need? Netsoc will provide the resources that you need to host a website. Tonight's tutorial provides the information. You'll need a Netsoc account to do this tutorial tonight. You should have a laptop with you to follow along. I think everyone here does, with the exception of Anthony. And if you don't, next half hour is going to be a pretty long one, but I will have notes online for anyone who wants to follow along at home in the future. You'll also need to install a program called FileZilla from filezilla-project.org, which we'll be using later on in the thing. So if you haven't that installed, you're going to have to go to that website, download it, and have it on your laptop before we continue. So the first thing that you have to do is set up a Netsoc account. Everyone in here should have done this already, but I will do it right now just to run through the process if anyone's unsure. It'll only take about a minute to do, and if you haven't done it yet, you can do it during the talk. It's not a huge deal. So if you go to admin.netsoc.co, you'll get a username and password field here for you to log in if you already have an account, but you can just click the register button, type in your full name, type in your student number, type in a username which you want for it. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to kind of be making a website for a new society in UCC. We'll say it's the UCC Simpson Society, which is somehow a thing. You will have just a password for the account, the course that it is. So I'm a computer science student, and the year which I intend to graduate, which is 2017. You hit the register button, and it brings you straight in. Your account is now built, and it gives you a little bit of information on how to log into your account for the first time. Now, the easiest way to do that is with FileZilla. So going back to our slides here, if you don't have it already, you can download it and install it from filezillaproject.org. That's a dash between FileZilla and project. And what FileZilla is it's a file manager for your Netsoc account or for any SSH accounts you might own on the internet. So in order for the account to be set up for web hosting, you'll need to log into it at least once. So all we actually need to do is just log in and complete that part of the setup before we actually then move along and install WordPress onto it. So just to do that, we go to FileZilla. There's a bar up here at the top to connect. Our Netsoc server is called leela.netsoc.co. Your username is whatever you picked during setup, and the password is whatever you picked there as well. In the port box, you have to make sure you enter the number 22, and then you just press the connect button. It will pop up something about remembering passwords. You decide whether you want that or not, and it will start to try to connect. However, due to issues on this particular computer, it won't connect from here, but it does work over EduRoam, and if you try to connect on your laptop, it should be fine. So I'll leave the information on screen for a minute just to make sure that everyone's able to do that. If you have any questions at any point, put your hand up, and either myself or Evan will get to that. Otherwise, if we're ready to go, we'll move on in just a little while. Sorry? Yeah, perfect. I'll do it on my phone. So, does everyone have that step done, or do I need to just hold up another minute? Okay, no hassle. Don't worry about it. So once you've logged into FileZilla and you've had everything set up, there's nothing else you need to do with that program, and you can close it. So then the next step is to actually go and install WordPress in your Netsoc account. So if you go back to admin.netsoc.co, you'll see in the sidebar here, or in the list of panels here, if you're coming from the home page, there's a button here that says install WordPress. So obviously you have to go to your admin.netsoc.co and log in order to get this to work. You click the install WordPress button and it brings you to a new web page. What that web page has is just some instructions for when you're installing it, which will include things like the name of the website, the username and password you're going to use to log into WordPress, and your own email address, which will be used to send you notifications whenever someone comments on your website or anything like that. We're going to show you how to fill out those sections, but don't hit install just yet, as I'm just going to make sure that everyone's account is good to go first. So in the required information, you have to fill out your site title, which will be something like, in this case, UCC Simpson Society. The username is whatever you want it to be. You can have whatever you want for the password, but in general, try and pick a good strong password, because in general, there are some security issues with WordPress. Generally speaking, you can get around them by just practicing good security practices. So use a strong password, make it reasonably long, use upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols if you want to. And then, of course, just include your email address there as well. Now, there are some advanced options available on this page, such as activating themes or deleting default content. We're not going to use them for tonight's tutorial, but if you understand what they do and you want to do them, then that's fine. At the end of it is the install WordPress button, but again, we won't just click that just yet, as I just want to run one or two checks before we do so. While we're running those, let's just talk about what WordPress is. So WordPress was originally designed to be a platform simply for blogging, but it's rapidly expanded to be useful for any kind of website. It's supported by a large network of developers and users, so it's easy to search for and find help for anything which you need online. There's tons of free themes and plugins available to add features and give your site a fresh look. And you can easily set up plugins to monitor who's visiting your website, how many views you're getting, or even go as far as set up an online shop and start selling things from your own website. We'll be able to talk about plugins more in our next thing. Our first session this week is just about setting up the very basic WordPress account. But like, if you're wondering why we're doing this on Netsoc, because if you Google WordPress, you'll find there's something else called WordPress.com. That's a commercial hosted edition of WordPress. So it provides a lot of features of what we're installing, but you don't really get to choose your own plugins, and it can get pretty expensive once you consider that you might have to pay extra to get your own domain name or whatever. WordPress.org powers WordPress.com, but anyone can run it for free, like we're doing. And if you do want to set a custom domain or anything like that, just contact me, Colm at netsoc.co, or Evan, who's Evan at netsoc.co, and we'll happily sort you out in just a few minutes. I'm just going to very quickly just check if everything's good to go here. Okay, excellent. So let's install that. So hit the Install WordPress button at the bottom of the page, and it will start working away on everything, creating the files, installing the database, themes and plugins, etc. And at the end of it, you'll get this little message here, the world is yours. So what that has done is it set up a WordPress website at your username.netsoc.co. And you can log in to manage it at username.netsoc.co/admin. So what your website looks like right now is pretty basic. It's just a simple website with some sample content running a very basic black and white theme. Well, it does look pretty nice, and if you did want to set up your own blog, like, this is a decent place to start from. But like, let's log in and get working on it. So the WordPress admin interface has options for editing posts, pages, comments, appearance, and plugins. So if we log in, press the wrong button there. If we log in, we get a dashboard for various different features. We have some plugins installed already. We'll be teaching you about them next week. But the basic stuff is posts, media, comments, appearance, plugins. So if you want to write a new post, it's pretty straightforward. You go to posts, you click add new, and then you can just write in whatever content that you want. It's a really nice editor. It gives you a lot of room to work with text formatting, adding in media, and being able to actually then like do basic things like sort that media into alignments, etc. You also get in some themes the option of different post formats. So if you just want to post an image by itself or a quote, there are options to do that in some themes. So we can just create a post. It's generally a good practice to attach a featured image to every post which you make. I'll explain why that's so important next week. But basically it has some implications when you're posting it on social media or otherwise. You can add tags and categories to help sort your posts and content if you're running a blog. And it can be very helpful if you have, say, if you're running a student blog with multiple people writing on it, to have them sorted by whoever's writing it about the topics that are included in it. And then all that you need to do is click publish. You can also, if you want to take more control over it, set scheduling and so on. But again, that can be put into more detail. As well as that, there's a similar system for pages where you can have different pages. This is more so if you're focusing on developing more of a website thing, or if you are doing a blog, to have actual things like about us, contact us, and other such pages. You can create these pages very simply using the exact same type of editor, and you can then start working on putting the whole thing together that way. If you take a look then at our website, you'll see that we have a post included here, and as well as that, you should be able to navigate to the other pages as well. But the theme that we have doesn't have a menu or anything set up. So that brings us then to the appearance section. WordPress is a really nice, actually let's go back to our slides for a second. So you have your WordPress editor there. And the difference between posts and pages, posts are individual entries like articles or blog posts and should be shown kind of in a newest to oldest form on your front page. And pages are static things that don't really apply to a date, maybe cover a topic generally like an About Us or Contact Us page. In Motley, for instance, you can see an array of posts on the front page here and an About Us page which outlines some basic information about it. Those are the kind of differences that exist there. So let's take a look at themes. So WordPress has a variety of themes available for download online. You can load onto your website and make it look great. So if you go to, in the settings, appearance and then themes, and click add new, you can find a variety of themes that you can use. You can sort by things like featured, popular, and so on to find decent ones. And when you find one you like, you can download it and preview it on your site straight away. Some of my favorite themes are available on WordPress.com's official theme website. They're made for the commercial version, but you can usually download them for free and use them in WordPress.org. I'll explain how to do that in just a little bit. So if you go into Appearance and Themes, you'll see straight away that it comes with 3 themes already installed, 2016, 2015, and 2014. If you go to Add New, you'll see right away that there's a lot of interesting ones available that you can start using straight away. For instance, let's use, what's a good looking one here? Yeah, we'll start with this one for a while. So it installs it, unpacks it, and then you can hit live preview to see what it looks like right away. You'll see that some basic site identity is put together. So if we start changing things like you can change every little detail about this. And even the images in the background are customizable, and you again can use the same file uploader to do that. Oh wow, that's a pretty dark image to use. You even have options to like randomize different images from what you've uploaded as well, which is a pretty nice move. You can change little details like colors, widgets, and so on, and menus. So as I said earlier, we made a new page, but you couldn't see it right away. So you can add a menu in there. You'll have to go back into the admin page to actually make one now I think about it, and start adding those details. You also have the option as well as that, if you don't want to have a front page with all your posts listed there, most themes have the option to make a static home page as well. So you can make that your front page as well. And you get all that right there to begin with. Let's save and activate that theme, and you can see that our website now looks like that straight away. Heading back to the admin panel, one of the things that you want to do is make a menu for all your different pages. So appearance, menus, and then just create a brand new menu there. And then in locations, just apply that to the primary menu on your thing. When you go back to the website again, you'll see that it's up there now at the top of the page. However, as I said in the slides, there's some really nice themes on theme.wordpress.com that you want to be able to use. And I'm going to actually go through that right now because it's a good idea to get it. This is where I've got the theme for websites I've made before, like Motley or like, what's the other one I made? Sharp983.com is another website which I've worked on. And we can just import, say, a free theme from here. Let's do Liartail. That one looks nice. So you can log in, enter your details there. So I have an account here, but if you don't have one, you can register one pretty quickly. And you can download the theme. Why does that matter? It matters because themes really transform the look of a website. Like, this is what Motley looked like last year before I was involved in it, and it has like a lot of really large, bold content on it. That's the ink theme, and it looked really nice, but I didn't think it had like enough of a focus on the actual content behind the images. So that's why I then moved to something which looks you get more information on screen, you get a better idea of what's going on in every article. I think it's a good move. But everyone has their own different preferences and ideas, and the variety of WordPress themes that are available give you that option. So, as I said before, I've just downloaded a theme from the WordPress website, and I want to start using it on my blog. The way to do that is to go to Appearance and then Themes, and you can just upload it then as a zip file by clicking Upload Theme and firing that in there. Again, it's the same quick process. And if I hit live preview, you can see again that we have a completely different look for the website. You're going to add again same details like a header image. And you can start adding things like menus to the website as well in whatever location you want. So that kind of gives you a basic idea of some of the things that you can do with WordPress. What I've shown you, the customize options, those are the ones like this in the live preview, where you have things like the colors, site identity, background image, menus, and so on. And it's just necessary to go through that and get like their theme looking as perfect as you want it to. And here are just some small things to remember. So in general settings, make sure you've changed the site tagline away from just another WordPress site. That's what's set to by default. You don't get the option to change it in the setup. But it's very important you change it because it appears in search engines and it will appear in some themes. So, you know, don't play yourself at keeping it that way. It's not just another WordPress site. It's your site and it's special and beautiful. So in order to change that detail, that is in I'll show it to you there. Settings and general, and you can change that there. I've changed it to a UCC society. In terms of things like site addresses and so on, those are pretty fine as they stand. You can change things like date format, time format, and what day of the week starts on. If you're some person who for some reason starts their week on a Thursday, then that's allowed to you under the system, which is really weird. There's also a few options available as well for things like if you want search engines to be able to view your website. If you're only building your website for the first time, you can click to discourage search engines from indexing your site, which is probably handy for this one considering it's just a demo. Make sure that you delete the sample content like the Hello World post and the sample page before you show your website to anyone. So I've kind of used the sample page as a base for my new one. We can see that there's just a basic page here with a sample post and sample comment, and we can just delete that right now, and all of a sudden all the content that's on the website is just new content which you made for it. As I said earlier, when you're making posts, make sure that every post and page you make has a featured image, because that's important for how they appear on Facebook and other social media. And next week we'll be discussing things like search engine optimization and social media. We'll be looking at some helpful WordPress plugins. We'll be showing how to use WordPress to run an online shop and start making money online. And we'll have a chance for you to ask any questions you have about Netsoc admin, WordPress, or anything else that comes up. But before we close off completely, let's take a look at what we built tonight. So we found ourselves a nice theme. We've made a basic looking website. We've added some content to it. We've made some posts. If you do something like make that post to Facebook, you'll see that already it's shaped up well. Things like things show up pretty well. The site titles, like name, show up here, and you can use this very nicely by tying it into social media and other integrations. So next week we'll be discussing how to get the most out of it, how to get featured images to show up in your Facebook feed, how to get the top positions in search engines and other such things. But overall, we'll see you next week. That's all for us this week. Tonight's talk will be available on Facebook, and the talk in full will be available on youtube.com/netsoc. If anyone has any questions, if anyone has is looking for any advice on how to start shaping up their website and so on, and start working it over next week, let me know. And if anyone's had any trouble setting up their website or so on, we'd love to help you out over the next while. But overall, it's been fantastic to just kind of give this brief 25-minute talk on how to build a website.